The Long Box.
You make life suck sometimes.
I know, I have to. If you've never seen the show before, we break it down into segments, and the first major segment is the Long Box. We're going to pick about 3 stories every week and discuss them. The first story we have in it is how big will Wonder Woman's role be in the Batman-Superman movie, which I cannot believe they're still calling Batman-Superman.
I don't know that it's actually called Batman Superman. That's what everybody calls it.
Because...
You know what's funny? This is what makes me laugh. It's a Superman movie. It's technically...
Superman, Batman.
It's technically like Man of Steel 2 or whatever.
Yeah.
Because that's what it's supposed to be. But Batman's coming into it, and so everybody keeps calling it Batman vs. Superman. Or Batman Superman movie. It's like, it's technically a Superman movie. With Batman joining in and saying
hello.
hello.
Superman's the shortest actor out of all the groups so far?
Superman is?
Henry Cavill is the shortest.
He was definitely the buffest, though.
He was big.
I mean, he was like...
How'd that go?
Are
you transforming or something?
I mean, God, he probably did. So, anywhooser. So, we want to know how big the role of Wonder Woman will be. I'm betting it probably won't be more than a few minute cameo.
Okay.
So, we got an article here from JoeBlow.com. It says, the folks at Batman on Film did a mailbag of Q&A a few days ago answering some big questions with some interesting speculation. Certainly none of this is official, so I'll take it with a grain of salt, but it's no less interesting and convincing at that. BOF, Batman on Film addresses the role of Wonder Woman in Batman vs. Superman, as well as whether or not Jason Momoa, good actor, is on deck to play Martian Manhunter. I can see that one. Or Aquaman.
That would work. See that.
That would work.
I cannot see Aquaman.
You think he's white enough?
I don't think he's regal enough.
He was the king in the Game of Thrones thing. He was a king of a bunch of horse dudes, but he was a king.
And all he really had to do was grunt and screw. I mean, how regal do you have to be?
I'm just saying, he was a king. What else? The second villain in rumor, potentially Doomsday. And lastly, a very interesting and potentially infuriating look at the origin of Wonder Woman in the DC Cinematic Universe. Read on for details.
The quote for the Wonder Woman's role in the sequel says, personally, I'd say it'll be about on par with Scarlett Johansson's first appearance as Black Widow in Iron Man 2. I believe that it's a cameo plus type of role that will hopefully serve as a springboard to a solo Wonder Woman movie.
What do you want to bet? It's something like find her in New York or something like that, kind of wandering around, dispensing,
Diana Prince,
as Diana. Kind of dispensing some justice on street level, and they bring her kind of into the mold a little bit. What do you think?
Dispensing justice.
That's what they call it. Don't look at me that way.
Read the rest of it.
With all that said, I bet a year's pay and Monopoly money, of course, that the Amazons of the cinematic universe will be descendants of those ancient Kryptonians who attempted to set up Kryptonian outposts throughout space thousands of years ago. Oh my God! Who wrote this? Furthermore, I say that Wonder Woman will be powered down, if you will, relative to Superman, because these Amazons have evolved and adapted to living on Earth for hundreds of centuries, and since Kryptonians are produced without any traditional procreation, Jor-El and Laura excluded, couldn't this original Kryptonian on Earth have used this reproductive science to create an all-female race? I say yes. That is a horrible idea.
And it also kills, so many things. If you do it the correct way and you do her with the mythology, you get the opportunity to bring in Ares, who is a giant character in her story.
Yeah.
You get, Felix Faust is a bad guy for her because he's all obsessed with the occult and everything. You get her mother. You get the rest of the Amazons, and they're Amazons. Everyone on God's
so I think
green
the only
earth.
thing they're probably trying to figure out is in a more real style. That Man of Steel was a real style.
Yeah, but Greek, Roman, all those mythologies were once considered
right. But
real
how do
world.
you solve the problem of there being an island full of women that some enterprising man hasn't found yet?
I got nothing.
You think maybe it's like I got it.
They always mask Gorilla City with technology.
It could be like it could probably be like in the Arctic or something like that, and you've got like a oasis zone that's hot and warm and yada 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 or something like that. I don't know. Something like that maybe. That's my only problem with like. Okay, so Martian Manhunter, that's easy. He's an alien.
Wait, it says on whether or not Jason Momoa will play the Martian Manhunter. It says nope and nope.
Anyways, with Aquaman, that one's easy. We haven't explored the complete depths of the ocean yet. There are spots we haven't found. That one's easy. How do you explain away an island that just can't exist?
How do you explain an island of misfit toys?
Santa Claus. Shut up. And the last quote in this on whether or not Lex Luthor is in the film and the rumor of a second villain. Yes, and sorry, I'm not at liberty to reveal the ID of the other villain at this time, but he is a character highly rumored to be in the film. Well, that does me no damn good. Agamemnon says Bermuda Triangle. That might be a good idea for the Amazons.
But if they do this whole Kryptonian, centuries down the line, diluted ancestry from one basic Kryptonian, I'm gonna lose my mind. As it is, I'm already okay with the fact that Superman went all, Bruce Lee on and was like, ah! I'm okay with that.
Wait, I need somebody who has a gift maker to suddenly take this, and please do that again. The same movements.
No, if they want it, they gotta go back and find it.
Do it again. I want to see this. Do it.
I can't. Do it. It has to be in the moment. So, that being said, I'm okay with that.
So there was several things that people didn't like about Man of Steel that I really liked. The biggest one for me was the fact that he didn't really have an aversion to kryptonite. It was the atmosphere that was Krypton. And so when he was on the ship and it was a Kryptonian atmosphere, he was weaker. I thought that was an amazing way to explain something away, other than, you get a little bitty shard of this green earth thing and go, ooh, you're weak. You stick it right on it. That never made sense to me. Okay, but that being said, if somehow Wonder Woman ends up being related to Superman, whether it be hundreds of years removed,
they're ruining that character.
Yes, exactly.
They are absolutely ruining a great backstory, because you get the chance to bring in a human component with Steve Trevor, who is the one who finds the Amazons.
Right.
So, I mean, it's just, you break down so much of what that character could be by wanting to connect it
to Superman.
Or the Kryptonian. I don't give a shit if she's connected to Superman. I don't want her to be connected. I want her to punch him in the face.
Right. Because at this point in the DC universe, cinematic universe, there is nobody to contend with him.
No.
Except for the fact that they destroyed most of Metropolis. Getting rid of Zod and those guys. Speaking of that, did they all die at the end of that movie?
Who?
I know Zod died. What happened to the other ones? They died.
I can't remember.
The plane
I've actually only watched it one time.
I tried watching it and I was tired because I busted my leg, and so I ended up falling asleep on the couch.
Tell us what you guys think about them possibly changing the way they're going to do the Kryptonians. Or not the Amazonians. Snoo?
Snoo. Why would you bring up Snoo every time we talk about the Amazonians?
Because I love Futurama.
So, and I'm gonna put this to say this because it is what it is. The girl that they've got playing for this, she has no boobadoos, and unless she wants to have breast enhancements done just because of a movie, they're gonna have to use some killer Wonder Bra action to give her any kind of oomph in the cup size.
I think it'll happen. I think she'll do a damn good job. Because in real life, she was in the Iraqi military, I believe, is what I read, as a self-defense trainer. Yeah. She's a fighter. She's actually a fighter.
Oh, wow. That's fine.
And Wonder Woman is a brawler. She has finesse as time goes on, but Wonder Woman is a straight she's a straight baller. She's a brawler.
Yeah, fair enough. All right, so we'll move on.
Moving on.
All right, moving on. Next thing we've got. Could The Rock play John Stewart, otherwise known as the Green Lantern that most of our generation knows?
I'd like to thank Dr. Cox for this one. Wrong. Wrong. You're wrong. No.
First off,
No.
The Rock isn't black.
No, he's Samoan. He's mixed.
My key point: The Rock isn't black. Don't get me wrong. The fact with saying that he's not black, I think he would like.
First of all, I'm loving your attention to detail. Continue.
Physique wise, I think he actually fits the bill.
No. He's way too big.
No, I think it works.
Way too big.
No, I think it works.
Way too big.
No, I think it works. I can repeat this a few more times. I don't know how often I can get the no in there without my voice crackling. So I mean, I agree. I don't think now there is a rumor that it's going to be where's it at? Somebody just said it. I saw it up there.
What?
Blah. Hang on. I think it's in the where'd it go? Denzel Washington. Now, I have a problem with this.
Why do you have a problem with Denzel Washington?
He's too old.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
It could work.
Michael Jai White?
Yes. See, now that's who I think
That's
every
the guy that
time.
was Spawn, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's who I
He's
think.
older, but he still fits it.
I would
And he's
love,
got that voice.
I would love to see him do
I
that.
want to listen to some audiobooks that he reads. That would be awesome.
Have you ever listened to Go the F to Sleep?
No, and I'm not
By
listening
Samuel
to Samuel
Jackson?
Jackson.
Anyway, okay, so this brought up another thing. I talked about this with someone else. The Rock is definitely going to be someone in DC. Who?
I can't think of any main characters that he could be.
I want him to be a bad guy.
No.
A lot of people are saying Lobo. I think if you
I don't like Lobo enough to bring him in.
I think if you modernize Lobo, he could be a good Lobo.
Okay.
Much less of an acting performance and more of a physical performance, he could be Doomsday.
I think you could also do Martian Manhunter.
He could do Martian Manhunter. They would have to make
Now,
him
the problem
green
is
sometimes.
The problem is Martian Manhunter doesn't. He's not like The Rock is more external. Like he's beat the shit out of people.
You don't think he could do the subtleties?
Yeah. Well, Martian Manhunter. A lot of his stuff is like he's like phase, grab, pull.
Ooh, Idris Elba
For Jon Stewart.
Yeah.
The accent wouldn't work for me.
I'll be okay. I think he could get over it.
I think he'd be a good. I think I'd like Michael Jai White better.
But okay, this made me think of something. What about someone like Dwayne Johnson, like a fighter, to come in as like Wildcat and those characters,
like the offshoots, the second,
like the JSA.
I don't even remember who was in the JSA.
I mean, Dr. Fate.
That would be a good one to see. That'd be a good movie for
Hawkman. Black Canary
I
is
can see
actually
him as
part
Hawkman.
of Black Canary is actually part of it. So I mean,
it
gives you
seriously.
it would give you an opportunity to bring in these other versions. Also, Black Adam was a character he was attached to a few years ago.
I know. I mean, going back to your Hawkman thing, that would work.
Big.
Yeah, I mean, he's big, burly. They put the armor on him. I mean, literally, he swings this big.
Do they have
doohickey?
Can they borrow the cables that they use from Fast and the Furious
To hold the cars?
to hold him?
Oh, probably.
Because I mean, can you imagine how many guys are on the other end going, "Oh my god"?
I'm sure that's all mechanical by now.
This is easy to use.
I'm going.
Wait, checking.
Let's see. Let's see. Two good names to look for
Jon
Jon
Stewart is Common and Chadwick Boseman. I know who Common is.
I don't know who Chadwick.
Who's Chadwick Boseman?
Let's take a look and find out. Common's
Stone
okay.
Cold Steve Austin for Hawkman? No.
He's way too old.
Yeah.
But he makes a good bad guy. Let's see. Chadwick Boseman.
Oh, he was Jackie Robinson.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Yeah, he could work. He's kind of up and coming.
It'd be a younger version. Now, a lot of people are saying that about the fact that they're going to bring the Green Lantern and it's going to confuse people. No, it's not. All you do is explain that Hal Jordan is still, he's chilling on Oa.
Right.
And John Stewart's hanging now.
I said this all year last year.
Yeah, so I mean...
That is exactly how you explain John Stewart. Then you don't have to go through and do the backstory for the Green Lanterns again. No. You just assume everybody knows what a Green Lantern is now, and you bring him in as the new Earth Guardian.
I can't wait for Guy Gardner, though.
I don't like Guy that
I
much.
like
Not Guy Gardner. Yeah.
I like
No, Kyle Rayner.
Guy's the football player. Guy's the football player. Kyle's the artist.
I want to see Kyle Rayner instead. Let me see. We didn't actually read the story. There you go. It says nothing too concrete on this at all, but a usually reliable source has heard whispers from the DC that the DC role Dwayne Johnson teased recently is that of Jon Stewart. And this is from comicbookmovie.com. Could it be for the Man of Steel sequel or a solo adventure?
He did do a bunch of tweeting about the fact that he is talking with DC about a part. I don't think it's going to end up being Green Lantern. I think we're all assuming Green Lantern is going to be in it.
I don't know if he's going to be in Man of Steel. I think you don't do another Green Lantern individual
solo?
movie.
Not yet.
No. Definitely not until you find one that works.
Okay.
Because if you do a second failed within 10 years, the character is dead on movies for a good while.
I think a less comedic version of him would probably go off better.
What, of Hal?
No, of Green Lantern in general.
Oh, somebody's a little more to business type.
Because even Hal Jordan is not completely comedic all the time. Older version is not. So,
right.
As far as Dwayne Johnson goes, I don't want to see him as. I feel he's too big. I feel he's way too big for that character. He would have to come down his size. I'm also a big supporter of bringing in people that have not had large roles before. Like, Chris Evans was known, but mostly because of one movie, not the 10 he'd done before.
Mm.
So, I mean, you look at, now he's a giant star. Yes, Robert Downey Jr. was a star, but he was dead in the water when he took the role of Tony Stark.
True.
And so what you need to look for is to find someone that can relate, that can connect, and that's the problem with the DC characters. Marvel characters, their heroes, will always connect with people better.
Right.
I've said this before, I don't think I've said it on here. I think they should build towards building up the villains from DC and using the heroes as the platform. Because the Joker, the portrayal of the Joker from Heath Ledger, one of the most talked about in our lifetime.
Right.
Period. And there have been several versions of him and everything else. DC's got villains locked down.
True that.
Sometimes they're weird. Sometimes they're bizarre. But they're played so well.
Like, you know what I would like to see? If you go back to Joker, I think I would enjoy seeing, like, the Harley Quinn storyline in a movie. Like, how he turns her.
Yeah.
From his psychiatrist in Arkham to what she becomes. Mm-hmm. I mean, think about, would a villain movie really go over well?
I don't think a villain movie, but like I said, you're building it on a villain.
I don't know. I think I would see that. I think I would watch that.
You'd think you'd watch, like, the turn of Harley Quinn or something like that.
Yeah, because it would be a good Joker story. You'd get to see, you'd have to find somebody who could just literally could sit in a cell and just with the facial expressions and with just a few words and a laugh and a small giggle just portray so much. But I think it would be an interesting movie to watch. Having a turn, and at the end of the movie, nothing big, not a whole bunch of... No, not a whole bunch of people dying or anything like that, but literally like them just getting out of Arkham, and then the end scene is her putting on makeup, just laughing, something like that. I mean, it would. You be also cool look at to watch.
You've got Darkseid, who is an ultimate DC baddie,
right?
And that opens up a whole nother 2-3 worlds,
right? Is he the one that's on the battle planet?
No, that's Mongol.
Okay.
He's iffy. He's a weird guy.
Yeah.
But I think DC moving more towards their villains and promoting it that way. Yeah, it's gonna tend to be a little bit darker. You can still put your humor in there.
Well, but that kind of thing leads to the question: could you watch a movie where you're not emotionally connected to the character like that? Mm. You know, with Man of Steel, you were emotionally connected to, if not Superman, Clark Kent, like when his dad dies. You know, I mean, you're
oh my God, spoilers! Just kidding. No,
right? You know, you're connecting to that thing there. So I mean, can you really could you do a villain movie?
I don't think it's a villain movie. That's not what I'm getting at. I'm saying, unlike Marvel's characters were created by Stan Lee and all the guys back then to be grounded and very relatable to the regular people.
We've been told we have to say hi to Brianna.
Hi. Our niece is asking us to say hi.
Go ahead.
Whereas DC's got the villains. That's what I'm saying. And I think The Rock, Dwayne Johnson could make a good villain. I'd like to see him as a villain.
You don't like him as Jon Stewart?
No.
Okay. So your vote for Jon Stewart. Mine's Michael Jai White.
It's not going to happen. I think he's too far done out of acting.
You think so?
Yeah.
That's who mine. Denzel Washington's too old. I don't like. Common's a good actor, but I don't like him in that role. Yeah. Chadwick Boseman. I haven't seen anything he's in. Just looks wise, I think it fits.
Okay.
So we're good with that.
I'm good.
Moving on.
Last story in the long box is the top 15 movies of 2015, and I think there's some 2014 in here as well.
So this is 15 frenzy-worthy films of 2015. This is from...
Basically what this actually says is the reasons you're gonna be broke.
Yeah. This is movies.yahoo.com. And let's see. Number 1.
Okay, this is all from 20... for 420. This is what you have looking forward to in a year's time. And yes, we just started, but... this is what we have to go do.
Yeah. Star Wars Episode 7. That's pretty much what you've been saying. It says, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. That's pretty much what you've been saying since Disney announced that a continuation of Star Wars is in fact happening. Our lightsabers have been out and we'll wave them fanatically until writer-director J.J. Abrams ushers this epic space beast. Did I write that right?
Yes.
Yes, with definite appearances from classic characters Leia, Han, and Skywalker into theaters. This comes out December 18th, 2015.
Not going to read all of the stuff, but you've got Avengers Age of Ultron, which is obviously the follow-up to the Avengers movie, which is going to feature new characters like the Scarlet Witch, Quicksilver, and probably part of the... Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah. Note for this is I think when I originally heard James Spader was probably going to be the villain, was going to be Ultron. I don't think I was sold on it until I started watching Blacklist. The man can do evil. I mean, he's just like, my problem is with James Spader is I remember him as Daniel
from the original Stargate.
From Stargate. And so he's always this nice nerdy that kind of guy. And so to see him in Blacklist, it was just woo, amazing.
That is releasing May 1st in 2015.
Then we got Batman vs Superman. You all know that Ben Affleck controversy is only going to get your body.
Check yourself. That says Batfleck.
Batfleck, sorry. Controversy is only to get your booty into the theater when the follow-up to Man of Steel flies into the scene. Whether, this is probably aimed towards me, you agree that Gal Gadot is right for Wonder Woman or Ben Affleck makes for a perfect grizzled older Batman, you have to admit it's going to be a pretty awesome thing to see them assembled with Supes in Zack Snyder's next Superman
Are you
film.
Doing that just to piss me off now?
What, reading the whole thing?
I said don't read the whole thing.
And that one comes out July 17th, 2015. That's doubtful because they haven't even started filming it yet.
I bet it happens.
All right.
I bet it happens.
Go for it.
The Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2.
We haven't even seen Part 1 yet.
I can't believe it's just the second book and they're already Part 2ing a movie.
No, Mockingjay is the third book.
No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
This is This is the second movie.
Right. Look on that shelf. They're over there somewhere.
What? I don't have time for this.
They're over there somewhere.
I have these books.
Mockingij's number 3.
Then
Because Mockingjay is going to be turned into 2 movies. I think. I think Mockingij's number 3.
whatever, Joe. It gets released in November 2015.
Let's see.
You got Bond.
Bond 24, Skyfall director Sam Mendes is going to be... was yanked out of his purported 007 retirement for this one. Ooh. Still starring. It's going to have Daniel Craig in it. Unless you're a Bond girl, you can't put the super spy to bed after nearly doubling its highest earnings. Quantum Solace, which made $168 million domestically, to Skyfall, which brought $304. And you know what's bad? I thought Quantum Solace was better. I finally got to sit down and watch Skyfall the other day.
Skyfall did kind of just go...
Yeah, to me it just kind of... and the release date for that is November 16th, 2015.
Fast and Furious number 7, which will figure out some way to say goodbye to the character of Brian.
Right.
For Paul Walker. Is going to return most of that cast, including Vin Diesel and Dwayne Johnson, I believe. I think he's back in this one too.
I would imagine. I actually like him in these movies, so.
I don't know if Han is in it though. After Gal Gadot's character,
Han's dead.
No, Han. No. That movie, wherever that happens, the actual timeline for that is after all this.
No. Because at the end of 6,
she dies.
Han also dies.
No.
Yes.
Go back and watch it.
Watch the last scene. He flips in a car. The car blows up, and then dude picks up a phone and calls him and go, yeah, this is so-and-so. Han's dead.
Never mind. We'll talk later.
No! I'm telling you.
You're wrong.
I am not wrong.
You're wrong. That's number 2.
But 2
No, that's number 3. Sorry, Tokyo Drift.
3 is in between 6 and 7.
That's not.
Yes, it is.
Is it?
Yes. They have written it so that 3 is in between 6 and 7.
Yeah, anyway. That release date is April 10th. We're going to argue about that if we don't move on.
Fantastic Four. This is not an X-Men crossover movie yet, while the details are still sketchy on whether we will be seeing Johnny Storm alongside the Wolverine. We are totally enthused to see this comic book movie reboot nonetheless. This one has got a release date of June 19th, 2015.
How did I miss that on 6?
What?
I'm being corrected.
What is it?
They said he died.
BAM!
I watched it recently.
Lawyered.
Oh. Last one's coming. What do we got? Oh, great. I get this one. Live action of Cinderella. That's all I got. It's coming out in March of 2015.
No, you have to read the last sentence before the release date.
You go, girl.
Number 9 is Insurgent. Yes, I'm going to read most of it. This is the
predecessor.
No. The predecessor is Divergent.
It's the sequel.
The sequel to Divergent. It's the second book in that series, which I've never read.
It's a young adult book. I've heard it's on the same things as Mortal Instruments, kind of like.
Have you read it?
No, I was going to, and then it was like, try something else.
Try something. Well, you said Mortal Instruments or Mortal Bones or whatever it is.
Mortal Instruments. The books were great,
but the movie sucked.
The movie was horrible.
Fair enough. So I want to read this Insurgent. Let me know, guys, in comments on Twitter and Facebook, whatever. Let me know if Insurgent's any good, because I've not read it, and I need more books to read.
That one comes out in March 20th. Minions. Ooh! Read the whole thing. It makes sense to focus on what the Despicable Me series... What made the Despicable Me series so popular. Those silly... awesomely annoying minions. They get their very own well-earned spin-off, and it's sure to proliferate dollars at the box office just like its predecessor. Released July 3rd, 2015.
I'll be in line for that.
Yes, sir.
I'll dress as a minion.
Wait, do you want to be Tim or Dave?
Dave.
Dave? Okay.
Yeah, probably Dave.
Next up is Jurassic World.
Which we don't care 2 shits about. That comes out June 12th, 2015. I mean, dear God, the first movie scared the crap out of me. The rest of them were junk. Why are we still making these movies? Moving on.
50 Shades of Grey comes out in February of 2015. We all know it's kinky, erotic thriller. Blah,
Actually,
blah, blah.
we have a story in the short box about that later. They're making 3 different movies.
My God.
Yeah, something like that. We'll read the story in a little bit. 13 is Ant-Man with Paul Rudd as the film's comic book action hero. Edgar Wright at the helm. The the cinematic creation is a guaranteed quirky spin-off of a Marvel tale. You gonna hit me with something? 3 cheers to Marvel and Disney for greenlighting this fun yet unusual enterprise. Release date, July 31st, 2015. So I know we're going to our birthday, guys.
A lot of movies.
Probably.
Tomorrowland, which is going to be in the same vein of Saving Mr. Banks. Tomorrowland is another Disney film that's about, well, Tomorrowland. It's going to be about the park.
Oh, I was saying,
because
like
it was hard.
Park?
It took them.
Did you see Saving Mr. Banks?
No, but I've heard it's pretty good.
It looks really good.
That comes out on May 22nd.
Inside Out, this is being billed as Pixar's most innovative creation to date. And wow, that's saying a lot. Amy Poehler leads the voice cast. What?
Your radio man voice just hit. And wow, that says a lot.
The story centers around the emotions inside the mind of a little girl. And you guessed it, each feeling is represented by a distinct character. That'll be neat. June 19th, 2015. If all of these weren't thrilling enough, there are even more films in 2015 worth honorable mention. The Jungle Book.
Mission Impossible 5.
Terminator Genesis.
Inside Out is already included.
Yeah.
So
Kung Fu Panda 3.
Wait, there's a 2?
Yes. Pandas?
No, that says Peanuts.
I read Panda. Oh,
Mad Max Fury Road.
The Good Dinosaur.
And Ted 2.
Yes, sir.
So, as I said for last year, and because I was broke and didn't get to go see any of them, 2015, I'm going to go broke.
What about this year? We have to look at a list of what's coming out this year, don't we?
Yeah, we'll find it. All right, we are going to move out of the long box. We put you through enough.